Hello and welcome back to White Lines Football. Lewis again here today, back for the next episode of the White Lines Football podcast. And start off, I want to say a little sorry. Obviously this podcast has been a long time coming, a couple of weeks. Haven't done one over Christmas, but it's here. We're going to catch up on all the football we've missed, and then we're going to answer a few of your questions at the end. It is just me today, not joined by any of the other guys, but obviously they're going to be back soon. So we start off as far back as the 22nd of December. One Premier League game. It was Arsenal 3, Liverpool 3, which was a very, very entertaining game actually on the Friday night. First Friday night Premier League game in a while. Liverpool started off well. They went ahead 2-0 actually. And they looked in control. Goals from Coutinho and Salah. Salah, who's ever improving. And Liverpool looked in control. But then, in a weird 6-minute spell, Arsenal went 3-2 up. Sanchez, Xhaka and Ozil getting the goals. Ozil obviously finishing off a good triple performance there. With his goal in the 58th minute, and then Liverpool did manage to get back through Firmino. But honestly, this was a game of two really poor defences in a game that could have gone either way. Basically, it ended as a draw, which is probably a fair result at the end of the day. Arsenal fans weren't happy, and it was probably a point that didn't suit either teams, to be honest, in their pursuit for the top four. Going on to the Saturday, which was when all of the other Premier League teams were in action. The 9 games. We're going to just go through them. Not touch on them too much. It was a while ago now. We're going to go into more detail on the recent games in the weekend just gone, and a few days just gone actually, because there's been games just 24/7 at the minute. So Everton 0, Chelsea 0. Typical Sam Allardyce performance, I think. Good defensive performance from Everton. A friend of mine from university, Chelsea fan, went up there. He wasn't best pleased. Brighton Hove Albion got a win against Watford, which was massive. Massive for Brighton to win there. Also, Watford really slumping in form a little bit under Marco Silva. Wasn't great for them. But massive win for Watford. Excuse me, just have a drink. But next up we have Manchester City 4, AFC Bournemouth 0. So at the minute, it's really got to the point I said last time. If you concede fewer than 4 goals or 3 goals, whatever I said, to Manchester City, you're doing well. Aguero at the double there, and then Sterling continuing his fine form, and nice for Danilo's chip in there. Bournemouth's poor form continued, but obviously against Manchester City, you can't really expect much these days. Southampton 1, Huddersfield Town 1. Good point for Huddersfield. Again, picking up points against teams sort of higher up the league, but Southampton aren't going to be one of those teams if they continue the way they're going. They're sliding, and they've really got to see that 2 points dropped. Stoke City got a massive 3 points, which relieved a little bit of pressure from Mark Hughes. They beat West Brom 3-1 on the day. Alan Pardew sort of struggling in his start to life at West Brom. Alan Chipper-Moting got the 2 goals, and then Rondon got West Brom back into the game. And as West Brom pushed forward, Stoke got the 3rd with Ramadan Sobhi. So massive for the Stoke, getting 3 points against a team around them who they're battling relegation against. Another team that got a point was Swansea against Crystal Palace. Managerless Swansea at this point, now under Carlos Carvalhal, performing with Sheffield Wednesday. But Leon Britton took control. Crystal Palace went 1-0 up with Milivojevic scoring a penalty, as he so often has done this season. And then Jordan Ayew, the second of the Ayew brothers to play for the Swans, got the equaliser for Swansea against an informed Crystal Palace team, so I suppose it is a point gained. Newcastle got a massive win as well. Newcastle really struggling up to this point. 9 Premier League games without a win before this. Henry, whatever you want to say it, Sivet, I'm going to go with. I can't pronounce it, but his first start in God knows how long, he got the goal to equalise actually after Arnautovic put West Ham 1-0 up. A bright first 10 minutes after Sivet got that goal in the 10th minute, and then it slowed down a bit, and then it went a bit mental again. Diame got the goal to put Newcastle 2-1 up. Atsu then increased that lead. West Ham got a goal back by the second of the Ayew brothers to score on the day, Andre Ayew, in the 6.5 minute, but they could not get that breakthrough to equalise, and Newcastle saw off West Ham in another massive game, a team down the bottom. Tottenham beat off, sort of brought reality down to Burnley. I suppose sort of competing with them in the league. Burnley and Tottenham swapping positions a little bit, and this was a really day of Harry Kane. He got his first hat-trick over the Christmas period, including a penalty early on, and then 69th, 79th minute. Sean Dyche wasn't best pleased, but obviously he was full of praise for the Spurs man and the Spurs team, so that moved Tottenham up a bit. And then a game later on, which was really interesting, the evening game, Leicester at home to Manchester United. Juan Mata at the double for Man United. They led 2-1. But Harry Maguire, the man that's really come to form since joining Leicester, I mean, he was great at Sheffield United, he was great at Hull, but he's done really, really well at Leicester so far. In the 94th minute, got the equaliser with a tap-in. And, yeah, it was no more than Leicester deserved, to be honest. Leicester played really well. Daniel Amati as well, getting a red card in that game. But, that sort of stalled Manchester United's title run, title charge, I suppose, obviously. City pulling away there. So we go on to Boxing Day in the Christmas period. We have eight games to go through, and there was a fair few goals, to be fair. We started off with Tottenham beating Southampton, so this was the game of Harry Kane. We got his second hat-trick in a very, very few amount of days. Bagging the hat-trick there for Tottenham, breaking Alan Shearer's record, going past Messi and Ronaldo in the goal scored in 2017. Is this man world class? Of course he is. How is it even a debate anymore? Dele Alli chipping as well, which was nice for him after he's had a little bit of a drought, a little bit of poor form, and then Son, reliable as ever. Southampton the 2 goals from Buffon and Tadic, but there was only really one team in this, and that was Tottenham Hotspur. Bournemouth and West Ham played out an interesting game, which had a lot of controversy at the end. West Ham thought they'd won it in the 89th minute after Arnautovic's second goal, but Callum Wilson was there in the 93rd minute to equalise for Bournemouth, which was very controversial and very offside as well. Wilson sort of pleaded his innocence at the time, but after the game he said he needed a little bit of magic. So, that was clear. Point share between them. Chelsea, routine win against Brighton Hove Albion. A little bit of rotation going around the Conte team, which was nice to see. Morata and Alonso getting the goals there. Huddersfield drew with Stoke. Obviously, Tom Ince getting his first goal for Huddersfield in the Premier League, which Paul Ince was happy about on BT Sport. I don't know if you saw that. And then Ramadan Sobhi as well getting another goal there. Manchester United drew again with Burnley. Burnley coming back well from that Spurs defeat. Man United went 2-0 down actually. They had to fight for this one. Ashley Barnes was 7-4. Defoe with a very good goal. A free kick there. Putting Burnley 2-0 up at half time, and then Manchester United had to come back into the game. Lingard at the double. As late as the 91st minute to get the second goal of the game. So, probably a point gain there for Manchester United. But looking at it, you'd probably have expected them to win the game beforehand. Watford got a surprising win against Leicester. Leicester went ahead with Mahrez and it looked like it was going to be a routine win, but it wasn't. Watford came into the game and a Kasper Schmeichel own goal sort of sealed it back for Watford. Watford came back into the game and it sealed it for Watford. Get a win against Clubwell's side, who are in form, so that was a massive win for Marcus Silva's side. West Brom and Everton, very boring game, 0-0 there. Again, Sam Allardyce's performance. And then in the evening, Liverpool were on fire against Leon Britton's Swansea, still managerless at the time. And there was a lot of goals in this game, obviously 5. Coutinho with a moment of brilliance, and then Firmino got a double. Alexander-Arnold with an excellent goal as well. And then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain managed to get on the score sheet to wrap up the win for Liverpool side in form. A day later, we had the game between Newcastle and Manchester City. Newcastle succeeded the 1 goal. Raheem Sterling getting the goal in the 31st minute. It was enough to see off the Magpies. It was. Well, Guardiola came out and said it's difficult to play against ultra defensive teams, and it was. Newcastle didn't really show any intent, but on the surface that looks like a good result against Manchester City. You're sort of preserving your goal difference a little bit. On the 28th, we move on to Crystal Palace versus Arsenal, which is also a great game. Arsenal sort of made it a bit harder for themselves than they should have done. Mustafi obviously getting the first goal in that game. Andros Townsend equalised to give Crystal Palace a little bit of hope. And then Alexis Sanchez was at the double before James Tompkins got a goal back in the 87th minute, but that was enough. that was enough for Arsenal there. Eventually, we go on to Saturday, the 30th of December, and yeah, this was a lot of games as well. So I'm just catching up with it here with my notes. AFC Bournemouth beat Everton, which was massive for Bournemouth. Ryan Fraser at the double there. Sam Allardyce struggling, obviously. Everton, when they fall behind, they're sort of struggling because they're so defensive and playing for points, etc. That, you know, when they go behind, they're going to need to be getting back in the game somehow. Idrissa Gay got the goal, 57th minute to equalise, but Ryan Fraser won it for Everton late on, and that is won it for Bournemouth late on, and that's a massive result for them. Mark Hughes criticised the changes to his Stoke team against Chelsea as Chelsea battered them 5-0. Rudiger, Drinkwater, Pedro, Willian and Zappacosta saw that out. It's comfortable 3-0 at half time. Antonio Conte's men charged on. Burnley probably see its 2 points dropped as they drew 0-0 against Huddersfield Town. Liverpool had to put in a good shift here against Leicester, going 1-0 down. Jamie Vardy with the goal in the 3rd minute, but Mohamed Salah, the ever-improving Mohamed Salah, got the double, 52nd minute, 76th minute, to get Liverpool the win at Anfield. I've seen pundits say that Salah's the closest thing we've got to Messi at the minute, and I'd agree, to be fair. Similar sort of player, left-footed, similar style of play. He's getting the goals as well, is so vital to his team. Newcastle and Brighton played out a 0-0 draw. Obviously the two teams at the top of the Championship last season. They played out a 0-0 draw at St James's Park. Watford were back down the table, back to the bad form. And down the table. Against Swansea, they went 1-0 up with Carrillo, and Swansea got 2 late goals for Jordan Ayew and Narsing to get Carlos Carvalhal a win in his first game. They did look more impressive under Carvalhal than they did under Clement and even Britain, I suppose. So that was massive for Swansea to get a win back there, and then Manchester United and Southampton, more points dropped for Jose Mourinho in the 0-0 draw versus Southampton. Sunday, the 31st of December, Crystal Palace held a point against Manchester City, and it could have been more. Crystal Palace missed a penalty late on through Milivojevic. Easy to say for Ederson with his feet. Milivojevic goes down the middle quite a lot. And yeah, they shut out Man City and could have actually been the first team to beat them this season. Arsenal dropped points as well in the race for the top 4 as Liverpool picks them up. A Jay Rodriguez penalty late on. It was an equaliser for West Brom. And then obviously James McLean with the own goal to get Arsenal the goal early on. It says here in my notes, Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger believes referee Mike Dean did not see the incident that led him to award a late penalty. So obviously Arsene Wenger criticising the referees there. Monday the 1st of January, New Year's Day. Obviously we've got a few games here. So first up we have Manchester City versus Watford, which was actually on the Tuesday. So we've actually going to start on the Tuesday, which we've got Manchester City versus Watford. There was an early Sterling goal, the fastest Premier League goal this season, which is great work by Sane down the left, but there's awful defending at the far post by both Ziegler and Carrillo. There's awful defending throughout. More awful defending on the left for the second goal. Kevin De Bruyne hit the bar with a free kick, but the amount of time City got in down the left was a joke. Carrillo and Ziegler both not defending well at all. Down the Watford left against the likes of Sterling, against the likes of Walker. It was ridiculous defending. There was a late Gray goal, but Watford are still sliding, and that win against Leicester didn't show for much. Just 1 win in 9 now for them. Not great form for them. Move on to West Ham versus West Brom. I enjoyed West Ham set up in this game actually, with the back 3. Lanzini was coming very deep. I like the link up between Cresswell and Mazuaka on the left there. James McLean's deflected goal for 1-0 left Adrian absolutely no chance, absolutely hopeless. But McLean got the goal. Andy Carroll equalised in the 59th minute with a header from Aaron Cresswell's cross. Obviously, Cresswell coming in well from left centre back there. He beat both Evans and Gibbs to the ball in the air. Is he the best sort of header of the ball in the Premier League? I think so. He got the win in the 94th minute. A massive 3 points. massive 3 points for West Ham, and it leaves West Brom very much in the relegation zone. Still struggling under Pardew. For Andy Carroll, should he be on the plane? To the World Cup in summer, because obviously he's a good plan B, isn't he? I'd think about it. I'd consider it. We'll get to that on the channel when it gets to the time, and players will be informally injured, and there's probably a high chance Carroll will be injured anyway. But West Ham run out winners there 2-1. So next up we have Southampton versus Crystal Palace, where Crystal Palace ran out 2-1 winners. Shane Longfire ended his 11th goal drought. Now scored more goals this calendar year than Harry Kane. A little spoiler for later on, but he got a nice finish after a smart Pierre. I don't know. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, as you've seen on this channel and WhiteLinesCricket as well. But Shane could have scored earlier and later on actually, but obviously he did end his goal drought, and that'd be massive for him and maybe Southampton if he could start getting a few. MacArthur equalised for Crystal Palace. He walked in completely unmarked, and then Milivojevic got the winner with a first-time shot, 25 yards out after missing the penalty against Manchester City. It was weird. It was a contrast defensively for Southampton, because they did the hard stuff well. They pressed really well, as they often do. We saw it against Chelsea, but this left men unmarked for both goals. So much space for Milivojevic, and also, like I say, MacArthur just walked in completely unmarked to get the equaliser. Pierre was impressive down the right for me, for Southampton, despite losing. And now, if Southampton are looking at the manager, Pellegrino, and they're sort of considering, like, is he going to go? Look at Claude Puel, who they sacked in the summer. I bet they're wishing they kept him now, after the job he did for them and the job he's now doing at Leicester. Next up, we have Swansea versus Tottenham, which is actually the final game of today, I believe. It is. So, Swansea versus Tottenham. Fernando Llorente made a start after Harry Kane was been ill. He got the first goal of the game. It was miles offside. He didn't celebrate, he apologised, but he got the goal. The pitch was really, really bad. As hammer it down, the ball wasn't moving quickly at all, and Davison Sanchez, lucky not to get sent off. He got booked for a very, very light foul on Jordan Ayew, he got away with not getting a red card later on because of a harsh challenge which he got talking to, then he got taken off, which was obviously clear that it needed to happen. He got a second red card in not so many games. It saw the return of Wanyama, which was really good. Vital for Spurs, in fact. And then Dele Alli got the winner. Well, I say the winner. He got the second goal after a lovely pass from Harry Kane after he came on down the left. But awful conditions. Swansea with a loss, but they do seem better under Carver House, so maybe they will begin to climb up the table. So we'll go back on to Monday now, New Year's Day. Start with Burnley versus Liverpool. One change for Burnley, Tarkowski was back. A few more changes for Liverpool. Salah was out, Coutinho was out. Firmino was on the bench, so this Fab Four people have been going on about Salah, Coutinho, Firmino and Mane. Only Mane was starting today, and he stood up. He got the opener with a great finish on his left, actually, after nicking the ball off Oxlade-Chamberlain. A great cross from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Great goal from him. Burnley equalised pretty late on, actually. Goodmanson at the far post for Burnley. After Joe Gomez, who played left-back today, 87th minute, lost his man at the far post. And he's done that a couple of times now, Joe Gomez. I think he should play at centre-back. He's a decent full-back, but he does need to watch his man a little bit more. Ragnar Klavan got the eventual winner in the 94th minute, another late goal. Obviously, the two centre-backs combining after the income of Virgil van Dijk. The eventual winner was scored by Ragnar Klavan. Nick Pope was impressive in goal yet again for Burnley, their backup keeper. English. Sure, he's going to be being looked at by Gareth Southgate. And Tom Heaton as well is going to really struggle to get back in when he's fit, because Nick Pope isn't going to be sitting on the bench, and there's no reason to drop him at the minute. Going back, Everton versus Manchester United. This was an easy 2-0 win for Manchester United. Martial and Lingard with the goals. Rooney was back against Man United for the first time since leaving. Martial got the first after some people, particularly on Sky Sports commentary, were saying no recognised striker, which is interesting because Martial is a striker. He's just a makeshift left winger, the way I see it anyway. Lingard got a quality second. He continues his good form, and he's vital for both Manchester United and England at the minute. But yeah, Everton with a little bit of a dip there. Newcastle beat Stoke in a game that was massive for the teams, but it wasn't the most entertaining. Newcastle running out 1-0 winners. Ayozo Perez got the goal. A lot of pressure on Mark Hughes now. Stoke have slipped into relegation zone into 18th. Fans calling for his head of the game. Kieran Clark missed an absolute sitter, by the way, from about 1 yard out. Put it wide and over. But yeah, Newcastle got the win, and nice to see them getting a little bit of form together. Final two games now. We have Leicester versus Huddersfield, where Leicester ran out 3-0 winners. Like I say, Claude Puel doing a great job there. Mahrez with an absolutely quality volley to open the scoring after Albrightson's pass, and then Slimani with a nice quality chip finish, who caused real problems today. Slimani, a great squad player to have, backup player. He cost a lot of money after they won the league, but he played really, really well. Also the introduction of Andre Silva we saw, who Leicester signed 14 seconds after the transfer window closed, and obviously they weren't allowed to play him, but he'd been training with the team, and then obviously there was no other squad number for him to wear apart from number 14. Mark Albright himself got the goal later on, and Huddersfield were poor and subject to a 3-0 defeat. Finally, we have Brighton versus Bournemouth. Anthony Knockaert got the first goal of 2018. This was the lunchtime kickoff on New Year's Day. Good finish from him. Cook and Murray then both scored against their old clubs. Obviously, Cook previously playing for Brighton, where it all started for him, and then Glenn Murray obviously had that season at Bournemouth. Izquierdo, I'm going to say that, actually could have won it for Brighton, sort of confirmed that, as he ran the whole length of the pitch and he could have squared it. Just one defender and the keeper to beat. Took it to the keeper. There was a good save from Begovic, and that came back to haunt Brighton as they looked tired late on. Callum Wilson got the equaliser for the sloppiest goal you ever see. Poor defending, and he got a tap in later on. So that wraps up the football, the Premier League football, at least for today. What we've missed so far. Going into the Premier League table, top four, obviously Man City are top. Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool. Chelsea have a chance to overtake Manchester United. Tottenham have 4 points behind Liverpool in fifth, with that game in hand, and then Arsenal also a game in hand on Liverpool, but that's against Chelsea, 6 points behind them. Burnley are in seventh, and then Leicester sitting comfortably in eighth, and then in the bottom three, there's real worry actually. Swansea still bottom, West Brom second bottom by 4 points from safety, and then slipping out to 17th, we have Southampton on 20, the same amount of points as Stoke. Real pressure. Pellegrino now is under. They got to spend that Van Dijk money, and then West Ham climbing, Crystal Palace climbing, Newcastle up in 13th, and then Bournemouth slip a little bit to 15th. But it is very, very tight down there. So now we're going to move on to answer your questions, the listeners that you've been asking. Over the past couple of weeks. So we're going to start off with @Josh Eardley, friend of the channel. He asks, how much pressure is Zidane under after their El Clasico defeat? So, a little bit of pressure. Barcelona obviously walked all over Real Madrid to win 3-0. Real Madrid now 14 points below Barcelona in the winter break. Obviously that's over soon, but the league's gone. You could probably say, there's two teams between them, Valencia and Atletico Madrid. The Champions League is really all they have left, so they've got to go for that. Real Madrid bored are often short-tempered. We've seen that with likes of Benitez and Ancelotti, but Zinedine Zidane is different. He has history as a player and a youth coach, and he's done well. Obviously, he won back-to-back Champions League, he's won La Liga, so he may get this time till next season if we don't see an improvement, and he may be on his way out. Next question from @GFC Johnston, which is Sam. Do you reckon Lewis did actually see Tyson Fury? So I've got to put a bit of backstory to this. I tweeted out a picture where our social guy, I suppose, Lewis Hart, also been on the channel, friend of me, friend of my own, said he saw Tyson Fury when he was on his way to Fleetwood, I believe, away, which probably a lie because he thinks he sees everyone. He said he saw Santa, but he said he saw him in a Ferrari, so it might have been Tyson, but we'll never know because it's gone now. But no, I don't think Lewis did see Tyson Fury, but there's more of a chance that he saw him than Santa. We'll go with that. Italian Gilles fan. Is the current Man City side the best in Premier League history? Obviously, there's a lot of competition. We've got numerous Manchester United sides. We've got the obvious that stick out, Arsenal, Invincibles. But yeah, I think they are. I think they're going to go undefeated. They were very, very lucky to get away with that draw at Crystal Palace. But if you look at how they've done so far, you look at the way they're blowing away teams, and they'll probably learn from that. You look at the quality in the team. Arsenal probably had a better defence, but they drew more often. And City just look unstoppable, don't they? I think they could probably go on to win the quadruple, in my opinion. I don't think the Man United sides compare either, and I think City are going to go through the league undefeated. You can quote that up at the end of the season when they come second, but I think they are the best side the Premier League's ever seen. Josh Yearley again. Which of the top 6 teams need to improve their team most in the January transfer window? I think Chelsea. You could argue Liverpool because of their thin defensive structure, but obviously they've already gone for Van Dijk. They probably still need a midfielder, Liverpool, but Klopp's not necessarily fond of going in January, and they probably want to do their business in the summer, and that might not happen this winter. But Liverpool do need to improve their new keeper. They might even need another centre back if Lovren and Klavan both go, because I don't think either of them are good enough. I think they need a keeper, they need a midfielder, and maybe even a number 9. But I think they're pretty well covered. Arsenal don't have a good squad, so they could improve. But again, like I say, they're probably going to be focused more on the keeps, because we don't know how Sanchez is going to go, we don't know how Ozil's going to go. But again, they're looking to buy star players, so that doesn't really happen in January. Josh said Chelsea, which I think is a good shout. Both them and Spurs both have very thin squads. They probably need to beef them out, because obviously when their star players are missing, it shows. Obviously Spurs did well over the weekend with Llorente over Kane, but they both need to beef them out, particularly Chelsea, I'd say. So I'd agree with Josh saying Chelsea. At Billy GFC 16, what Gillingham players had the most impact in the first half of the season? For me, there's only 3 players that sort of are up for this. I think Thomas Holy, who's improved a lot at the start of the season. People were sort of questioning his place at the club, questioning his ability, but Glenn Johnson, credit to him, he's improved Holy a lot. And Holy's now cemented his place, and there's actually had rumours that he's going to be going to the Palace, Bristol City, Derby. So, not great for us, but good for Holy. Zakwani's sorted out the defence, he's bossed it when he's been there. Great guy, and he's been really, really good, like the wall he calls himself. And then Tom Eaves as well, he's filled that goal-scoring emptiness. That's not a word. He's filled that goal-scoring void left by Cody McDonald. Already 10 this season from Tom Eaves. And then, he's obviously got the goals, and that's what we've been missing. And he's done really well, and he's definitely slotted in with the fans well. Luke Lewis, 35. Do you think Gills will stay up? Yes, I do. We're in good form, climbing up that table. I believe we're 15th now at the time of recording. That'd be class, wouldn't it? If Gills stay up, and I think they will, because, like I say, we've got a good squad, we've got good management, and I think there's a lot worse teams than us. At FOM blog Lee on Twitter, we are halfway through the 2017-18 season. Who do you think has been Gillingham's best player this season? And how would you sum up Gillingham's season so far? So, like I say, Holy, Zakwani and Eaves will be my top 3 so far. To sum it up, it was an awful start. It was an awful start. It was our worst start in years. But now it's great, and it's exciting again. Since Pennett's gone, since Lovell's come in, it's been exciting again. And to be fair, we look like we could beat anyone. We've got points against big teams, like we beat Charlton, just gone. Vlog up tomorrow/today on the channel for that. And we beat the likes of Rotherham, Peterborough. We've got a point against Wigan. So we do look like we could beat anyone, and we're enjoying the football again. And next season, who knows, we could push on for that playoff place, if not this season. At _Football Lab Gabriel Sutton, do you think Paul Scally will still be Gillingham chairman when Gillingham are next in the second tier? It's a difficult one, because it could be under Steve Lovell if he carries on. It could be not next season in the Championship, but we could push for the playoffs next season. If it's not under Lovell, then it'll be hard, because he rarely invests in the squad with cash. We rarely pay for players. You need to do that at the end of the day. You look at the squads at the top of the league. You look at Wigan's squad. You look at Blackburn's squad. You need to invest, because you can't just do it on a massive, loads of free agents. It'll be hard, but never say never. He's done it before. At GFC Lewis, do you think Neymar's transfer to PSG took pressure off Paul Pogba, as he hasn't got the tag of the most expensive player anymore? I do, because it's now a time to bed into the Premier League. Pogba, he went for half what Neymar, but no one talks about that now. What Neymar went for, Pogba went for half of what Neymar went for, but no one talks about Pogba's price anymore. Because of Neymar's price, because of Mbappe's price, because of Dembele's price, because of the bids for Coutinho. especially now because that looks relatively cheap given the recent increase in values of players. 80 million for Paul Pogba. You'd pay it again in this market, wouldn't you? And Pogba's already come through recently. He doesn't necessarily get the plaudits, but he's been a very good player. Next up, Frank M 2002. What kind of players do you think the Gills need to sign in January? Lovell said he's out looking for players, which is good. I think we need a striker, maybe a little one to partner Eves or just a proven goal scorer. We've also got Wilkinson, Eves and Parker there. Well, Eves and Wilkinson probably class as the main strikers, and then Parker out wide, but Parker plays there, and then we've also got Nash called back, we've got Kundal as well. But I think we need another striker and then Bo. But yeah, we need another striker to get a few more goals. We need a CDM because I don't think Byrne cuts it there. He's a great player, great centre midfielder, but I don't think he cuts it at CDM. Amer's got good form as centre back. So even though I call for it week in, week out, I don't think he's going to be moved out of there. And then Ben Chapman's probably not ready at 18 years old / 19 years old. And Billy Bingham and Aaron Morris, the other two players you'd associate that position, are both injured long term. So I think we get one in on loan to the end of the season, and then next season, hopefully, we'll have at least Bingham back. Maybe another one will come in the summer. But I also think we need an attacking midfielder. To touch on that, we do need Sean Clare back because, well, not back, but we need to extend his loan because he's been massive for us. He's a quality player, very creative as well. And then Lee Martin as well, who's our creative player. But apart from that, we haven't got much. Like, we saw the game against Wimbledon when Greg Kundal started, and there wasn't much. I think we could use another attacking midfielder there for a bit more creativity. At one team in Kent, can you see Thomas Holy get an international call-up in the near future? So, Thomas Holy is obviously a German goalkeeper. He is from the Czech Republic. Maybe soon, I don't know, but definitely at some point in his career. He's 26, I think. Czech currently use Tomáš Vaklič, who's 28. So he could be the number one for a while. And then Pavlenka of Bremen and Kubek of Rennes. The other goalkeepers are a little bit older, so they're sort of at the end of their career. But those three are currently where it is. If Holy continues to grow and grow up the leagues, as it hurts to say, he'll get a call-up, I think. He's also very young. He's 26, like I say, 25. And, yeah, I think especially if he goes to Crystal Palace and he's playing in the Premier League, Derby, Bristol City could both be playing in the Premier League next season. If he goes there and sort of gets in the squads, then I think there's no reason he couldn't get called up to the Czech Republic squad. Another one from that team in Kent, at which clubs get relegated from the Prem. Although Swansea's picked up a bit undercover, how I think their squad's awful. So I think Swansea and West Brom, especially now I've got Pardew, which is weird, sacking Pulis for Pardew. I think those two are certs. And then I've got a list of three. Shout out to Southampton because I don't think, on the surface you think they're too good to go down, but are they? 17th in the Premier League now. Pellegrini's under a lot of pressure. You like to think they wouldn't go down, but they're in trouble. The other three I've written down are West Ham because of Moyes. He's a good man manager, but he's, we can't forget what he did for Sunderland, and how West Ham are still pretty crap sometimes. And they're going to be in it. Bournemouth as well, who've struggled a little bit, but you'd like to think their style of football, Eddie Howe and the players, they've got a goal scorer, and Callum Wilson could bring them through. And then Stoke as well, who I think Hughes is probably going to go soon, but if he doesn't, I think Stoke will go down. Stoke will be my choice there. At Proven Tony, which is Tony Proven. Are you coming down to do a crossbar challenge with the Meridian FC team? Obviously, you've seen our realism videos. They were at Meridian Sports. Great, big shout out to Tony. We'd love to do it. All of us at WhiteLines Media would love to do it. We'd love to take you on. We'll bring all our best boys and girls. So yeah, we need to arrange it. We'll probably do it in summer so we can guarantee the weather. But yeah, definitely need to do that. Take on a proper football team. We could do this. Anyway, at Nathan IFC01, thoughts on League One podcast being better than WhiteLinesFootball? I'd love to know who said that because they're lying. No, seriously though, League One podcast, I believe podcasts are back January the 3rd. So obviously look out for that. We do bits for them, they do bits for us, our channel partners. Great bunch of lads over there. So be sure to check out their channel. And then a more serious question from Nathan: where can Steve Lovell take Gills? So I think he can take us to the Championship. We have a good solid defence. And we look a little bit more free on possession with his own proper squad, which I think he needs. He could do a bit more creativity, a bit more protection, and then maybe a goal scorer. I think we could go up. After that, if we're in the Championship, who knows? Who knows where the sky is for Steve Lovell? That doesn't make sense. Sky's the limit, that's all I'm saying. Final two questions then. At Gills in the Blood, Matt on Twitter. With a decent amount of recruitment in the January transfer window, how high can the Gills possibly finish this season considering their upturn in form? So, courtesy of Matt himself, We are 10 points off the playoffs, which is the same as last season, but now feels a lot better than last season. You know, this time last season, Just Edinburgh was getting sacked. A year ago today, that's actually gone really slow, probably because of the suffering we've endured as Gills fans. But Just Edinburgh was getting sacked, and we just lost 1-0 to Oxford at home, which was dire, and obviously our form slumped after that. But we did stay up last season. You'd like to think that this half of the season will be better than last year's last half of the season. So it looks like we'll be safe, but obviously we're only 4 points off relegation. But I think we'll be okay. Hopefully we can push on. A bit more prolificness, a few more players in, like Matt says. We can maybe push for the playoffs, but if that is a step too far, I think we'd all be happy with a mid-table finish. High mid-table, maybe a top 10, and then we can push on for next season. At Josh Yeardley, final question. With the recent sackings in England, who do you think will be the next manager to lose his job? I think Feck or Cotterill, so obviously Feck at Norwich, who a while ago was struggling, but they've picked up a little bit now. So I think he'll be safe for a bit. Steve Cotterill at Birmingham, obviously they've struggled as well. Looks like they're going down, but Cotterill's only just come in, so maybe he'll get persevered with a little bit. He's a weird manager because he's a really good League One manager, but not so great in the Championship. So maybe Cotterill. They do look certain to go down, and it's not a nice atmosphere there, and he's a bit weird. Like I say, I would go with, I've got a list of 3. Mark Hughes of Stoke, Chris Lucketti of Bury, because they are in an absolute crisis at the bottom of League One, with their squad, with the investment. Absolute crisis for them. And then Jaap Stam as well, who took Reading to the playoff final last season. Now they sit 18th in the Championship. And that's not great news for them. And I know a lot of Reading fans want him to go as well. But yeah, he was linked to jobs higher, but now he needs to sort out his Reading team because they could be in trouble come end of the season, if he's still there, that is. So that wraps up the questions in the weekend and the football review for this episode. A lot to go through, so I'm speaking quite quick. But obviously, next week we will be back on schedule to talk about the weekend and answer a few more questions. If you did enjoy the video, please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below. If I've said anything you agree with, disagree with, tweet me at LRC Browning, at White Media on Twitter. Or comment down below. Follow in the description, all the socials, all of us on Twitter. Graphic designer Nathan, great guy, doesn't get enough credit for what he does, great guy. And then the League One podcast as well. So, if you did enjoy, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you next time. Goodbye.